Listen to me right now. We had so many things going on in this episode. First of all, Daemon is a stunt queen. Rhaenys is shady. Rhaenyra is not having it. Otto is annoying as hell. Let's talk right now. Okay, so listen, if I talk about every single thing that I want to talk about, this video will be 30-40 minutes long. I ain't trying to do that, so hopefully we can get through this stuff while hitting all the main points. Let's just get into it right now, okay? So first of all, as many people noticed, we got finally the opening credits, and they ended up keeping the same music. I would have preferred personally if they gave us a new theme song, but I can understand, the decision makers being like, well, people already identify with and know this main theme, so we're gonna keep it. But I really didn't expect them to keep it. I wanted something different. Either way, the opening credits itself was really cool because we got to see, like, it basically played off of old Valyria and the sigils and shit like that. And I love how the blood represents, like, if you could look at it like fire and blood or the blood of old Valyria or the Targaryen lineage. So I just thought that was cool too. So real quick shot in the beginning, like couple shots in the beginning, we're just seeing what's going on with the Charky and in the Stepstones. The crabs are there, honey, and they're eating, they're feasting. The crab feeder does not seem like a villain I would want to particularly go up against, especially without no goddamn dragons. That shit seems very gruesome as hell to me. So we end up seeing this council meeting, which kind of sets up the entire thing. Obviously, it sets up the entire atmosphere for this episode. So they need a replacement on the kingsguard, and of course they talking about it, but Corlys comes in here like, girl, what the hell are y'all doing? Corlys, I love Corlys. Corlys is like, bitch, well, I mean, most of Corlys, because the shit they doing to their daughters, the shit all these people are doing to their daughters is so fucked up. But like, Corlys comes in there just like, girl, what are y'all fucking doing? Like, they are down there in the Stepstones. I'm losing my fucking men. I'm losing my ships, girl. What the hell's going on? And Otto gonna look at Corlys like, oh, girl, what the fuck ever. Like, we can pay you your coin if that's what you press about. And Corlys is like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about no compensation, no coin, bitch. I want to get rid of the problem. What are y'all doing? That's what Corlys said. Fuck you, bitch. I want to go there and mow these bitches down. What are y'all talking about? Also, keeping in mind Viserys' personality, right? But you keeping that in mind, but also keeping in mind the fact that he just came from, or he just inherited the kingdom from a peaceful fucking time. During Jaehaerys' rule, that shit was peaceful. So of course Viserys gonna look at Corlys like, I really don't want war. Like, and the council also doesn't want war either. But Corlys is looking at their face like, bitch, are you, what reason do they have to fear us? Like, it's cool that y'all don't want war, but it's coming. Like, it's coming. So he even brings up the fact that Daemon seized Dragonstone and the crown ain't even doing shit about it. And Rhaenyra, I love Rhaenyra so much. Here, Rhaenyra turns around and is just like, sweetie, why don't you just send us? Like, you have dragon riders, why don't you use them? And the council looks at her like, how dare this woman speak? How dare this girl speak in the presence? Like, oh, girl, move out the way. But it was a good idea because Corlys was like, well, at least the princess is trying to do something about that shit. But they end up brushing her shit aside. Viserys still doesn't like the idea of fighting and showing force and all that shit, so they end up giving her like busy work. Viserys is like, girl, go outside and do a bell ringer. Go outside and pick the person who's supposed to replace this motherfucker on the kingsguard and shut the hell up. And it's almost like, oh, Rhaenyra, that's really cute for you to say, but how about you try something? How about we go do something else? And Rhaenyra sees through that bullshit. She's like, all right, whatever. So at this choosing, it's not only the fact that Criston Cole is hot as fuck. It's not only the fact that Criston Cole is hot. It's the fact that he's the only one who really saw any combat experience. And Rhaenyra's like, obviously we're gonna choose him. And Sir Otto kind of tries to undermine her. I don't know if undermine is the right word. I mean, I guess you could, undermine is the right word anytime you're addressing Sir Otto, right? But he tries to get her to consider certain things like, oh, well, I know you want Sir Criston Cole, but what do you think about the houses and the relationship between the houses and, House Targaryen and the crown, blah, 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 blah. She was like, anyway, girl. She was like, anyway, I said what I said. You brought me some play-ass, turny-ass knights. I want one to protect my dad, who actually has seen some fucking combat. Get the fuck out my face, Sir Otto. And that was it. So Viserys is basically telling, Viserys Viserys is telling Alicent, but he's telling us, basically, like people who don't know. I mean, people, if you watch this channel, you probably already know, but for the people who just really don't know that much about Valyria, he starts to explain it. So this big thing that he was building on in his room, he says the capital of Valyria was built into a volcano like Dragonstone. The Dragon Lords lived at the volcanic face closest to the source of their magic and power. This was the Anogrion, I think is what he said, where the blood mages worked their craft. So I can't, the fact that we're getting more and more about the magic and the, you know, blood magic and the mages and shit, I'm just like, all right, are y'all trying to give us a Valyria? Are you trying to give us a Valyria, a prequel? Y'all already talking about Nymeria, y'all talking about Dorne a lot too, so I'm loving it. But if y'all want to give us Valyria, please do. He says the glory of old Valyria will never be seen again. But I love this little thing here because I feel like it's really symbolic, because Viserys drops this little like play ass dragon and breaks it, right? And especially when you talk about what happens later on in the episode, like, Viserys, sir, just how you're breaking this toy dragon, the kingdom is breaking too, baby. Like the kingdom is breaking too. So also here we get to see what Viserys really thinks about what he's doing, and he really understands, because every time he knows he's doing something weird or just like gross or questionable, it's just like, he's like, I wonder what Rhaenyra will think. Rhaenyra don't like that shit. You already know it. Viserys, like, why you? Oh, please don't tell Alicent. Please don't tell Rhaenyra about our talks, girl. I just don't know what Rhaenyra will think. She won't like the shit. It's weird. Of course she won't like, and you know it. I love this moment where Alicent's trying to comfort Rhaenyra, right, at the Sept, right? But I love the line where she says, Viserys didn't choose me as heir. He spurned Daemon. It's just, Rhaenyra's so insightful. She's not oblivious. She ain't running around here. Ooh, the Sansa stand's gonna be mad at me. She ain't running around here in Fantasyland like y'all favorite redhead. Like, she's analyzing the situation in front of her and doing what needs to be motherfucking done. And that's probably unfair, even though I don't like Sansa. She was probably way younger than Rhaenyra at this. I don't know. Either way, I can't stand Sansa. Y'all gonna be mad about it. Also, this other line here when Alicent says go, basically she tells Rhaenyra, because of what Alicent has been hearing Viserys say, Alicent tells Rhaenyra, like, girl, go to your father first. Like, but she says here, I know that I must make the effort. Essentially, when she wants to talk to her father, talk to these men about shit, these grown ass men, I'm just like, y'all shouldn't have to do that though. Like, she's telling Rhaenyra, like, you have to put forth the initiative to fix it. It's like, y'all are young and y'all are daughters in this situation. Y'all shouldn't have to be doing this shit. But I also love this picture here, or this shot here, where you get to see Rhaenyra's hand and Alicent's hand, and just like how much Alicent has been tearing herself up. They're really confiding in each other at this point. It's gonna be really heartbreaking to see them turn against each other. So Corliss and Rhaenys go to talk to Viserys, and Corliss is saying everything else that everybody else has been telling Viserys. The kingdom looks weak, girl. If these girls and stuff don't keep fucking us up, we're gonna be fucked. Like, it's just too much going on. How about we just take care of a bunch of bullshit and join our houses, right? We're offering our daughter, Laena. We come from Valyria, just like Targaryen does, the house Targaryen does. Like, how about we just get this shit together and just be done with it? Of course, we're gonna come back to that. This scene here, I think, was just Rhaenyra trying to talk to Viserys, but nothing really coming of it, right? And the food on the table. I love how we switched from this and the food, them eating food and all this shit, to the maggots. Like, I was just like, Viserys, that finger is going to fall off. Viserys! Oh my gosh. And how many months had it passed since the first episode? Like 6 months? I think they want to say like 6 months. I don't know if it was a year or 6 months, but I kept hearing 6 months. I kept hearing half a year. So it's just like his condition is going to get worse and worse, you know? So here we got Viserys telling Otto. I was just like, oh my God, the first one he tell his little finger. The first motherfucking person that Viserys tell his fucking little finger, bitch. Here come Viserys telling Otto that Corlys proposed marriage. And of course, Otto has to like hold face whole time he's concocting a plan. But the Grand Maester says, you know, she's a good match, blah, 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 blah. But yet again, Viserys is concerned about what Rhaenyra will think. And it's just like, sir, if you this concerned about what your damn daughter thinking, you need to, there's certain things you just need to not be doing at this point. You can't keep asking these questions. Oh, I wonder what Rhaenyra gonna think. She gonna think that shit nasty. That's what she gonna think, and you know that shit. So why the fuck you asking? Like, why you asking these questions? You already know what she gonna think. So Corlys is over here fucking smiling while the king and fucking Laena are walking. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so gross. It's just, you're fucking smiling while you're offering your 12-year-old child to this grown ass man. I love how we get a peek into just how much Laena loves to fly on, or just loves the idea of flying. Well, I guess, yes, especially when she got older, she just loved to fly. But like us seeing her ask about Valyria and, you know, the king's talking about it. It's from this scene that we also find out that Vhagar, which I guess is fitting, we're talking about Laena, but we find out that Vhagar is missing and she's out there somewhere, obviously being way too big for the, for where they keep the dragon pits. Obviously way too big for them, because if Vhagar was just a little bit smaller than Valyria, it's just, yeah, it's just not gonna happen. But they keep talking about Valyria. I'm just like, at this point, y'all need to give us a fucking flashback. Like, I'm sorry. I just need to see it. I have to. But it's at this point that Laena turns and she like literally recites what Corlys told her to fucking say. Oh my God, it would be a great honor to join our houses. I'd give you many children. Look at Viserys' face while she's saying that shit. Viserys is like, I can't even fucking do this shit. Like, this shit. Like, I know I'm a Targaryen, and I know we back in the day, but this shit is nasty. he was like, I can't do, like, the look all over his face. Because he even says, your dad told you to say that shit, didn't you? Didn't he? And he literally immediately says, okay, but what about what your mama say? And I think just the fact that Viserys even asked that question just shows how he just should not have been born in this time period. Like, he's just so not okay with a lot of this shit. Even when people just say, oh, well, it's your duty as a king, it's all right. Even Rhaenyra, sometimes when she tells him, like, I understand it's your duty as a king, he the look on his face almost is like, it is my duty, but I don't like the shit. Either way, he asked her, what do your mom say? And she responds by saying, she said I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14. And that's when his face is like, all right. He's like, this, like, I'm not doing this shit. He's obviously very uncomfortable. But Rhaenyra's watching this whole entire thing, and so is Rhaenys. Rhaenys sitting right there. And Rhaenyra obviously sees the bullshit, and she was about to just walk past that shit, but of course shady ass Rhaenys can't resist. She's like, girl, does it bother you? And Rhaenyra's like, girl, do you really want to do this? Like, do you really want to do this? My father's the king, girl. I already know what the tea is. Like, stop playing with me. And Rhaenys is like, girl, I did not ask for a, social studies lesson, baby. I know everything. Like, I know how politics works in this realm, baby. And Rhaenyra was like, okay, girl, but you talking all this shit. Does it bother you? Laena's your daughter. Like, I was like, ooh. But the conversation goes as follows. Basically, Rhaenys was like, of course it does bother me, but I understand the order of things, and I'm not sure that you do. You already know he gonna remarry, right? And he gonna have a male heir probably, and you ain't gonna have shit, cupbearer. Like, that's basically what Rhaenys told her. Like, you ain't gonna have shit, cupbearer. So that's the order of things. Everyone knows this. I know this, and your father's no fool. So it almost implies that Rhaenys is saying, like, your father knows that this shit is gonna happen too. So, like, you don't have shit. And Rhaenyra is not dumb, right? Like, she knows all of that. So as much as her face is saying, she's just emotional. Like, as much as her face is saying, girl, whatever, internally, she's not gonna just sit down and let some bullshit happen. Like, she's gonna at least fight. Viserys tells Alicent about his plans to remarry. Sir Otto, honestly, at this point, Sir Otto was probably the one that got that damn dragon fixed for the king. It just told and told Alicent to give that shit back to the king. I just look at this look that Alicent gives to her dad when he comes in telling Viserys about the emergency council meeting that he done planned. Bitch, this shit is shady. This shit is messy and it's very shady. The king was like, oh my God, there's such a beautiful, kind gesture. So obviously we can tell that the relationship between Alicent and the king is changing at this point, and Sir Otto is obviously happy about it. So the Dragon Keepers come in and tell the king that Daemon stole an egg from Dreamfire, and that was the egg that Rhaenyra, apparently, if I'm understanding this correctly, that was the egg that Rhaenyra had picked out to go to Balon. Y'all remember the king's dead ass son. So Daemon is so fucking shady, and he's a stunt queen, like I said. All this shit for no reason. Look at Daemon say he got his mistress pregnant. He will take her as a wife, and I can have 2 wives. I can have many wives since Targaryens do that shit. And since she's pregnant, since we're gonna have a kid, I'm going, just like how Targaryen custom says, I'm going to take that egg, sweetie, I'm gonna put it in my baby's cradle when he or she pops out. And guess what? You can come to my wedding. It's in 2 days' time. Although the king wants to go himself, Sir Otto says, girl, sit your eager ass down somewhere. But maybe don't sit on the Iron Throne right now since your ass got cut the fuck up. So I don't know. This scene here was so crazy because Sir Otto, as much as he thinks that he cares about his daughter, as much as I don't know. He's literally looking at her face, asking her, oh my God, why do you destroy yourself? Why are you cutting yourself up? Why are you like, girl, you're the reason. You're a big part of the reason. This society is the reason, and you're a big part of the reason. That's so crazy. I promise you, I was in a similar situation like that. Like, oh, why are you so mad? I'm sure many people can relate. Like, oh, why are you so depressed? Why are you so mad? It's like, you're the why you look at my face asking me why I'm depressed, mad, fucked up? You're the reason. It's crazy. I'm sorry, but this Dragonstone standoff was so sickening. When Daemon said Sir Crispin, wasn't it? I don't remember you. And Kristen Cole said, maybe his grace remembers me when I fucking knocked his dumb ass off his motherfucking horse. Bitch, these faces from Mysaria when she kept being called a fucking common whore this, whore that. Mysaria was like, all right, y'all got a couple more whores before I start whipping out these magic spells on you stupid bitches now. Okay, I'm gonna be on only a couple more common whores and shit that y'all talking about. As we can see later, she was so goddamn confused by this whole ordeal. Damon talking about marriage and kids. She over there like, girl, now. Child, when Caraxes came over here, when them swords came out, bitch, I got my life. Caraxes moved like a goddamn snake, obviously. But it's so cool to see when he was just screaming loud. I was like, y'all better back the fuck up. Damon was like, so what y'all want to do? Y'all really want to do this? Y'all really want to do this? Come take the egg if you wanted that bad, sweetie. So I already knew that Rhaenyra was gonna show up. We already knew that from the trailer. But when she did, I got my life. When she did, I was like, yeah. And she came around the corner when she comes. She gonna come around the corner when she comes. Bitch, y'all lucky she didn't save your cars. That's it. But my thing is like, why the fuck would y'all try to get an egg from Daemon without also bringing a fucking dragon or some shit? It make no fucking sense. Like, you really thought it was no... Anyway, I love Rhaenyra so much because obviously she wasn't supposed to be there. So Otto was just like, girl, can you... He's talking to the man. He's like, can you escort her dumb ass back? And Rhaenyra looked at Otto like, bitch, you serious? She was like, anyway, take care not to startle Cyrax, my lord. She's rather protective of me. She stepped right back. Steps right by Sir Otto, dumbass. So essentially when she speaks to Daemon, she's like, girl, you're in my castle. The king named me as heir. He's pissed. What the fuck are you really doing? And when Daemon said one day, in response to Rhaenyra saying, oh, so you with child? Like she with child? I was like, and Mysaria walked away. I was like, yeah, girl, Daemon is lying out the side. Daemon's lying. The stunt queen, like I said. Rhaenyra says, hey, bitch, you got all this shit. You in my castle. The only way you're gonna, this don't mean shit unless you kill me. So you're gonna do it or not? Caught his bluff. Of course, it's Rhaenyra. He likes Rhaenyra. As much as he hates rules, he loves the king. He wouldn't kill the king's fucking daughter. It would just be too much. That should be crazy, right? So he ends up acting like he ain't gonna do shit, but he throws the egg back. I love this shit. And of course, Rhaenyra is just like, yeah, she looks at Sir Otto like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, I did what the fuck I had to do. I did. Mysaria here says, listen, you can play reindeer games with the king. I can't. So, I don't know what y'all got going on, but you're a Targaryen. I am not. They will have my head. So it might be a fun circus game to you, but bitch, it's life and death for me, so stop playing with me. I love when Rhaenyra goes back to King's Landing, right? And the king's like, oh my God, how could you leave? Da, 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 da. He's just like so mad, pretending like he's mad. Oh, I'm so mad. Grr. And Rhaenyra was like, girl, can I sit down? She was like, you doing all this talk? I just got in the door. Can I have a seat? Can I please sit down? Bitch, the king said, his face said, girl, you serious? So the king couldn't even pretend to be mad at fucking Rhaenyra for 2 seconds because, bitch, she got the egg back. She got the dragon egg back. So you can't even be like, and she was smart. She was smart with the way that she handled it. She did it. So it would have been bloodshed. And honestly, Caraxes would have mowed down some of them hoes. Maybe, listen, like Viserys was over here chuckling. He couldn't even act like he was pissed. Yeah, girl. Cause Rhaenyra is a bad bitch. Like she's a queen. Like she did what she had to do. So they end up having this conversation about, okay, well, like, as much as I would never think to even imply that my next wife would ever be able to replace your mom, like, I still have to do what I have to do. And Rhaenyra says that she understands, right? So even though he goes to the next council meeting and announces that he will marry Alicent, Corlys is obviously pissed, and Rhaenyra is obviously pissed as well. Like, what the fuck? That shit, imagine your daddy trying to fuck around with your best friend. Girl, move. And the final scene is Corlys coming to Daemon after, his daughter was rejected from being married to the king. He goes to Daemon and says, hey, guess what, sweetie? I'm a black man in Westeros. He said, I'm a black man in Westeros, bro. Like, everything that I got, I work for that shit, okay? These first sons and first of their names and first whatever the fuck, first mail in their houses, them hoes got that shit handed to them. Like, you're a second son as well, as high up in the fucking society as you may be. Like let's join forces. Your brothers out here playing around at tourneys, having all these fucking feasts and dinners and parties and shit. You already know what's going on in fucking Stepstones. I'm not about to have Driftmark be beggared while the king's playing around, even though Daemon kind of clapped back, like, oh, that's my brother, only I can talk shit about him. But Daemon obviously sees the truth in what Corlys is saying. Like, if I go down to the Stepstone, if I go down and clean these hoes out, I can prove myself even more. Corlys is like, we got to make our worth. It's not given to us like the rest of these girls. Like, we got to make it. So what is it going to be? So when I tell you, this is how OG Game of Thrones is, with the dialogue, with the council meetings, with the shade, with the, political doublespeak, with the conspiracies, with the scheming. It was great. It was a great episode to prepare us for the third one, because I know that's going to be battle. I just feel like that's going to be battle. It's going to be, if they're already building up the step, they've been building up the Stepstones for 2 episodes, and it's been a fucking year and a half since the first, or no, not half a year. At the very least, since from the first episode to the second episode. So I can only imagine, like, third and fourth episode is probably going to be like some battles, some wars, something happening. So I got my life. Let me know what y'all think. I cannot wait for the next episode to come out. It's so good. It's so good. Keep it up. Please keep it up. Love y'all so much, and I will catch y'all later.